can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo, mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this.
What's going on, chat? Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. The weekend is here. And it's March. It is March 1st. The NCAA tournament will tip off this month. We got conference tournaments starting up next weekend, I think. The smaller schools that do theirs earlier start. And then the big ones will be the week after that. So if you guys didn't see my tweet today, I will have, or post on X, whatever it is. I guess it's not a tweet anymore. But yeah, I will have previews for all the conference tournaments. And I don't know if I'll take an outright bet for all of them, but definitely some of them, I'm sure. We'll take some pre-tournament outrights on those teams. I'll have a full video up when we get to, once the bracket's released, and we'll have just I'm going to do a whole video in terms of like strategy and how to play in your bracket groups. And then, how I'll break down the bracket as well. And then obviously we'll have bets, for the tournament, pre-tournament bets, futures, to make the Elite Eight, Sweet 16, all that stuff. And then during the tournament as well. So pretty excited for that. We have actually like decent Friday slate. Some of the Sean, what's up? Some of the Friday slates this year have not been very good for college basketball. There was that 1 week, there was only like 2 games. It was like Mountain West, but I actually kind of like this Friday slate. There's a couple spots that we'll talk about. And then we're going to talk, I'm going to pull up FanDuel Sportsbook, and we're going to look at the early lines for tomorrow. I have not taken a game of the year / max bet this college basketball season yet, and I might have one tomorrow. I'm going to think about it tonight. I was 2-0 on max bets last March, college basketball, 2-0 on max bets in college football this year. If I do go with a 5-unit play, we have hit those at a very high clip. I don't do that often, you guys know. Typically I'm to win 1 unit, or I'll do like a 2-unit play. So I'm eyeing up a pretty big bet tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. So we'll talk about that at the end of the stream. MLB opener, MLB opening day is coming up at the end of this month as well. I have some futures I like. I haven't officially taken anything yet. There's a couple teams I like for World Series. We're gonna do some streams about MLB betting, like preview, but I don't know when I'm gonna schedule that in. Let me look at the calendar here. Because we got, I mean, the NCAA tournament is going on right when there's opening day. So, I mean, the streams are going to be dedicated to, I mean, I'll talk baseball in the streams, but it's going to be dedicated to March Madness. So maybe next week we can squeeze in some MLB, because then we're going to be getting into like the thick of conference tournament stuff. So maybe next week I'll schedule in MLB stream. But I do have a couple teams I'm interested in for future stuff. We'll talk about it and just kind of preview offseason moves and stuff. So, all right, let's dive in. This is mainly going to be a college basketball stream. So if you guys want, I did take one NBA bet today. The line did move though. We took De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points plus assists. It moved up to 30.5. I'm still good with the over 30.5. He's hit 30.5. He's hit 31 rather in his last 5 games. And he has done very, very well against the Timberwolves in his past games against them last year, the year before that. And I'm on a 6-2 NBA prop run. So the college basketball has been super inconsistent for me lately, but NBA props have been pretty good. We had Kyle Kuzma last night. He cashed us in overtime. So I like De'Aaron Fox over 29.5 points plus assists tonight. Line moved up to 30.5. Still good with the over 30.5 on that. But let's dive in. All right. So for tonight's college games, there's like one really big game, which I'll talk about. I do like some of these smaller teams at home, but I haven't really taken them. I want to wait and see uh, how the money comes in on some of these spots closer to tip off. But there is some spots here like Canisius. Like you can see that the money is clearly on Mount St. Mary's, only 49% of the tickets, but 71% of the money is on Mount St. Mary's money line. I like Canisius just because Mount St. Mary's has been awful on the road all season. And at this point of the season, I'm really not weighing home road splits as much as I normally would just because we're down to like the end of the season. Like some teams have just given up. And I'm just more inclined to take the better team at this point. But Mount St. Mary's has been really, really bad on the road. So I kind of like Canisius tonight. But I want to wait and see what this line does closer to tip off. Same for Marist. I like Marist, and if I pull up the money line predictor, I think it likes Marist as well. Or at least it did earlier. It doesn't as much anymore. But Marist at home has been solid as well. Let me see here. There was another one like Iona. Quinnipiac's been terrible as of late. Like they started off, they were going to win this conference, and they've really, really struggled as of late. So like Iona at home, I think is interesting. Georgia Southern at home against ODU is interesting. Like I could see doing like a Iona Georgia Southern parlay or something along those lines. Like I'm going to look at stuff closer to lock and see how these lines are moving. There was one other team at home I thought was interesting, but I don't know. Oh, North Florida at home against Stetson, but you can see that line's moving kind of weird. I don't know. What does it pay? Let me see what that pays. If we did Iona and Georgia Southern, what does that pay? Plus 140. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that. Can we show love to UNF? Oh yeah, Christopher, we just talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't taken anything, but if I was picking a side of that game, I would lean North Florida. Yes. Yes. I have no problems with North Florida at home against Stetson. No problems there. I don't know if I'll take it, but no issues. The big game tonight is Loyola Chicago and Dayton. The winner of this game, this is a big game because the winner of this game is going to have the better path to the 2 seed in the A10 conference tournament. So this is a big game. And I like Loyola Chicago here. So we took them at plus 100. Actually, it was plus 102 on FanDuel when I took it this morning. It's now minus 102. So I like to see the line movement in our favor here. 70% of the bets are on Dayton, but line has moved towards us with the Loyola Chicago side. I've talked about this team a few times on stream recently. I think Loyola Chicago is just a really good team. I really like their coach, Drew Valentine. They've been very, very good against the spread as of late. And I actually like that they lost their last game because that gives me a little more confidence because they were on a crazy against the spread streak going into that game against St. Bonaventure. We were on Loyola Chicago. They lost outright. They got handled pretty well. So now they're coming back home. I don't think that this is like a hostile environment by any means, but Loyola Chicago does have a small gym. It is going to be sold out tonight, so it can get pretty loud just because the gym is pretty small, and it should be a good atmosphere with Dayton coming to town and the magnitude of this game. So I actually like Loyola Chicago coming off a loss, coming back home. Dayton has not been great on the road. They've actually really struggled on the road over the last like month. So I think Loyola Chicago is a really, really good spot here. It's my favorite play on the day. I think Loyola Chicago can win this game outright, certainly tonight. So that's my thoughts on the big game of the evening. And then some of these smaller schools I like at home: Canisius, Georgia Southern, Iona. I just want to wait and see like what these lines do closer to the game. But as of now, I could see myself doing like an Iona and Georgia Southern parlay for whatever I just said it was, plus 140. That's interesting to me. I like that. North Florida, something is like weird about this because I think that the spot is clearly in their favor, and they're clearly like, I mean, I guess it's pretty split on the spread, but they were up to 2.5. Now it's back down to 1.5 on FanDuel. So I don't know. I don't like seeing that. But let me stop sharing this screen, and I'm gonna pull FanDuel up here. And we're going to look at the look ahead lines for tomorrow. Let me zoom in on this so you guys can see it better. All right. So for tomorrow, Saturday, big slate, loaded slate, tons of ranked games, high profile games with conference tournament implications tomorrow. Starting off at noon, Florida, South Carolina. That's a great game. South Carolina just continues to get disrespected by books. I told you guys that the other night. I think that was Wednesday, maybe. Everyone was on Texas A&M against them, and I was like, I didn't take anything in that game. Texas A&M was a very, very popular play, and South Carolina, I mean, they've won 9 or 10 times outright as underdogs this year. They've just been routinely disrespected. Now they're at home. Florida is a really good team. I do like this Florida team a lot, but I trust them more at home as well. So I'm not sure if I will play a side of this game. I would lean towards South Carolina, though, if I was taking a side. Should be a really good atmosphere there. They've had a couple of their games. They're not like a big um, just I don't know. That's not like a team you think of when you're talking about good home court. But I've watched a couple of their games this year, and they've had really, really electric home court atmosphere. So should be a good crowd. I don't like that it's an early game though. When it's Saturday, I prefer it to be a late game because you get the kids drinking all day. But I would lean South Carolina in this game. Not sure if I'll play anything. Kansas Baylor. I don't know what to do with this here. I don't know what to do with this. Baylor is coming off that loss at home last weekend to Houston. They've only lost twice at home all year, and it was to Houston and like TCU and like triple overtime. Kansas has struggled on the road. You know, we know about that. They're not going to have McCullough. They've been pretty bad on the road for the majority of the season, but this seems like a little bit of overkill to me. If this was like 2.5 minus 150 or something, I would be more inclined to take Baylor. I don't know, 194. I just don't love. I guess you could parlay it with something, but I'm probably just going to stay away. I will also say that while Kansas has really struggled on the road and they've lost to some bad teams, for the majority of the season, they've played really good against like good teams. They've just struggled with bad teams. I'm going to pull up on KenPom. Let's see. So against Kentucky, they won. That's neutral court early season. Against Tennessee, neutral court early season, they won. They did lose to Marquette, but they've beat UConn. They've beat Tennessee. They've beat Kentucky. They've beat Houston. They've beat Baylor. Those are at home. But, BYU is really like in the last like 3 months, like we're going back to December. Like BYU is really the only good team that has beat them that they've played. They've lost to bad teams, Texas Tech, Kansas State. I guess they did lose to Iowa State in there as well, but that was on the road. So I just don't really know what to make of this team right now. And I mean, I definitely lean Baylor at home, but I'm not playing 4.5, and I'm not going to play minus 194 money line unless I pair it with something. So that's probably a stay away for me, but lean towards Baylor. This game's fun. Illinois, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is just so fraudulent, though. Illinois, I'm not a huge fan of either, so I would lean Badgers at home, but probably not a big play for me. I like Texas at home against Oklahoma State, so maybe Texas. Like you could do a Texas and Baylor, you could do a Texas and Wisconsin, something along those lines. Could maybe interest me. I like Creighton at home against Marquette. So here's how we're playing this. I'm just going to tell you guys this right now. It's Friday. It's March 1st. Creighton is going to beat Marquette on Saturday, tomorrow, March 2nd. And then Marquette is going to play UConn next Wednesday night at home, and they're going to beat UConn. So we want Marquette to lose this game because I'm going to be just all in on Marquette against UConn next Wednesday. So I would really prefer them to lose this game against Creighton, and then people are off them. But I'm just telling you guys right now on Friday, next Wednesday, we are going to be fully in on Marquette against UConn. Hopefully it's like a pick 'em, or it's Marquette minus 1.5, 2.5, even 3.5. I would be fine with. But yeah, Marquette is going to beat UConn next Wednesday. I'm just telling you this right now on Friday. So I will be on Marquette next Wednesday. Hopefully they lose here to Creighton on the road. I like Auburn against Mississippi State. Auburn coming back home after that game against Tennessee. They should probably win this game by 15, 16 points. Mississippi State struggled on the road. I don't think Mississippi State's very good as a team anyways, but all of their good performances basically have come at home. So I like Auburn even to cover this 9.5 tomorrow. That's going to be on my card for sure. Auburn. I don't hate UCF at home against Iowa State. Let me pull up Iowa State's Ken Palm here. They've struggled on the road. Let's look at, so once conference play started, away at Oklahoma, they lost. Away at BYU, they lost. Away at TCU, they won by 1 point. Away at Baylor, they lost. Away at Texas, they won by 5. Texas isn't very good. Away at Cincy, they won, but Cincy's just completely given up. That team's absolute dog meat. Houston away lost. So, I mean, they've not been great on the road. UCF is fighting for their tournament lives, so I guess I wouldn't hate a little sprinkle on UCF here, but I'll think about it. It's not high on my priority list. I like Virginia Tech at home. I'll pull this up. I told you guys this the other night, but Wake Forest is just not the same team on the road. If we look at all of their conference losses, they played away, home, away at BC, they won. Okay, so at home against Miami, win. Away at Florida State, loss. Away at North Carolina State, loss. Away at UNC, loss. Away at Pittsburgh, loss. Away at Duke, loss. Away at Virginia, loss. Away at Notre Dame, who's horrible, loss. So, yeah, Virginia Tech. Everyone was on Virginia Tech the other night too, I think, on something, and they lost. So I like Virginia Tech at even odds, minus 110. Auburn and Virginia Tech really stick out to me from these early few games that we've talked about here. And then, like I said, lean South Carolina, but I don't know if I'll play that. Auburn for sure, minus 9.5. That's going to be on my card. Virginia Tech money line. That's probably going to be on my card. And then here we go. Now we're getting to potential game of the year, potential 5-unit max bet for me tomorrow. Northwestern at home. This line's already moved. It was minus 134 like 20 minutes ago when I looked at this. So I might put this in like soon. How I'm probably going to play this is I might go 3 units on the minus 140 and 2 units on the 2.5. Northwestern is money at home. Iowa, not good on the road. Northwestern needs to win because they're trying to be in that top 4 seeding for the Big Ten tournament. And at the end of the day, it's Boo Booey. And I trust that man with my life. I absolutely love this Northwestern team. So Northwestern at home, this could be a potential 5-unit spot for me. 2 units on the -2.5, 3 units on the money line, -140. Northwestern tomorrow, max bet, my favorite spot of the weekend. Lock that in. Moving on down here. Don't really have any interest in any of these games. Duke should destroy Virginia. Virginia is so bad, man. I don't hate Kansas State as a road dog here. Like I said, Cincy's just given up. I don't like the Cincy team. They're not good. So Kansas State is still fighting. Like Kansas State is still on the bubble, honestly, for the actual tournament. I don't think Cincinnati has a chance of making the tournament. So Kansas State with something to play for is interesting to me. I probably wouldn't money line, but 5.5 is interesting. This is a big game. Tennessee, Alabama. Let me see what Ken Palm has this at. I'm curious. Ken Palm has Bama by 1. It's Bama -2.5 on the spread. Wow. If you're in chat right now, what's your lean on this Tennessee Bama? So my thoughts on it are, I mean, Tennessee is the way better team. I've liked this Tennessee team this year. I don't like Alabama, but Alabama at home. Oh, wow. That's a tough one. I don't know if I'll be betting this game. This might just be a watch game for me. This might be a watch game. I don't know. I like Tennessee significantly more than Bama, but it's on the road. I'll have to think about this one tonight. Houston at Oklahoma. I mean, I like Houston, but they've just not been good on the road. So I've no real reason to lay 5.5 with them on the road. I'd probably wait and live bet that. You might get a better number in the game if Houston starts slow, which they can because sometimes their offense just disappears. This is a fun game. Purdue, Michigan State, Saturday Night Hoops. It'll be on Fox. I don't know, man. I've talked about this a few times. I really can't wrap my head around why this Michigan State team is not good. It's tough for me to compute why this team's not good. But last week they were looking really good. Then they come out and lose 2 home games to teams that they should beat, and they're down in this like fringe tournament range now. So I don't know. This is like back against the wall, must-win game for Michigan State, but Purdue is money at home, and it's tough to win on the road in the Big Ten. So I have no actual idea what to do with this game. But this is like absolutely back against the wall spot for Michigan State. Like they really, really need a big win. So I'm not saying I'm going to bet it, but I would be wary if you're like even putting Purdue in a parlay. I would just be wary of the spot because I don't like to bet against desperate teams that are like legitimately they have to win this game. But at the same time, their big men, like Izzo's refusal to play Xavier Booker, I just don't understand it. And the big men that he does play are just so bad. So, I mean, Zach Edey should just destroy them. And I think they've played. Let me see. I want to see what the box score was if they played earlier this season. Like, I wonder what Edey did against them. Let me see. I don't think they've played. I guess they haven't played yet. It looks like. Yeah, so they're only playing one time this year. So they have not played earlier this season. Yeah, I don't know. Literal back against the wall spot. Those big men are so bad. Those Zach Edey should just eat on Saturday night. So I probably won't be touching that game. I like Boise State at home for sure. I mean, New Mexico. What happened to them? Ken Palm's got it at a 3-point game for Boise. New Mexico started off, if you look at their once conference play began, I mean, win against San Diego State, win against Utah State, win against Air Force, win against San Jose State, win against Nevada, lost to Boise. So Boise's already beat them once. But then ever since then, it's just been loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Like just super, super inconsistent play from New Mexico. I would definitely lean towards the Boise side of it at home. And I really like this spot here. TCU, BYU at home against TCU. BYU's been money at home. I really don't like this TCU team much. So definitely interested in BYU. I think you could take them on the spread or moneyline parlay. Who could we pair BYU with? If I'm going 5U on Northwestern, I'm not going to put them in a moneyline parlay because I don't, just for protection. If I'm putting 5 units on a team, I will not moneyline parlay them. So maybe Auburn. Auburn gets me to minus 142 on that. I don't hate that. That could be like a 1.5 unit play. I skipped over Minnesota at home. I like them. That's almost even odds, minus 101. Or you could go plus money, get them with Creighton or Texas. It's minus 156. So probably not Texas. So BYU with either Auburn, Minnesota, or Creighton. That's on my radar. I don't hate that little two-teamer. And then another just game of the night. Saturday night, late night, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. This is a fun one. St. Mary's already beat Gonzaga on the road earlier this season. Now they're at home. It's a big, big game for both teams. Gonzaga's basically win this and they're in the tournament. St. Mary's needs this win as well. I mean, I would have to lean St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's for the majority of the season has been a better team and they're at home. But Gonzaga has really come on recently. I didn't think this Gonzaga team was going to do anything this year, but they've come on strong. They're up to 17th overall in KenPom. They've won 7 games in a row. They just, not only did they beat Kentucky on the road a few weeks ago on February 10th, they beat the brakes off of San Francisco last night. San Francisco, that was a fake sharp spot. I didn't bet that game. There was a lot of people on San Francisco plus 4.5 last night. They came out and it was like tied up at half, or I think it was tied at half or Gonzaga was up by 1. And they just went on an absolute, just took the wind right out of San Francisco's sails out of halftime last night. That run that Gonzaga went on. I know Evan Mia has that kill shot metric, which is a 10-0 run in your favor. I mean, I think it was like a 15-2 run or something. I mean, they just destroyed them coming out of half. So Gonzaga's been playing really good. St. Mary's is a great team. I think just neutral floor, like St. Mary's is the better team than Gonzaga this year. But, man, I can't argue with how Gonzaga's been playing. So I'm going to have to think about this if I want to bet that game tomorrow. We'll see. So to summarize, tonight, I like Loyola Chicago, and I'm maybe going to put a parlay in of Iona and Georgia Southern, which is a plus 140 parlay. I might put that in. We'll see. I'll update you guys in the Discord. And then for tomorrow, potential 5-unit max. I'm not going to say it now. I talked about it on the stream. Go back and rewatch if you want to check that out. But potential first max bet of the college basketball season tomorrow. I also like Auburn at home, minus 9.5. And I like Virginia Tech at home, money line at even money. So that's my thoughts. Tons of college action tonight and tomorrow. I also gave an NBA bet out the top of the stream. You guys can go check that out again as well. I won't be live again until Monday, but I'll have an article up for tomorrow with my favorite bet. And obviously, I'll have my full cards up in the Discord. It's March, new month, new money to be made. Good luck with your bets tonight and this weekend. Hopefully, we make some money, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.